With UPSR and PT3 exams cancelled and schools still on lockdown, we're clocking in remotely today with a teacher, Muhammad Nazmi from SK Long Sukang in Sarawak, who is still diligently sending his students homework and notes without the use of technology so that they can catch up with their syllabus. Let's go clock in.
I'm Nazmi bin Osli, teaching at SK Long Sukang, Lawas. This is my third year in the service as a teacher. I'm teaching year 3, year 4 and year 6, and I'm teaching English and arts in my school.
It's such a good age group as well when they're still cute and they're not rebellious yet. So what were your classes like before MCO started?
Since we are pedalaman school, we don't have internet connection, so we are mostly doing teacher-student interaction where we both in the class together, where a lot of face-to-face interactions.
Right, so it's more one-to-one kind of teaching, is it?
Yes.
I see. So I understand that you have a very unique way of making classes interesting. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
First of all, because my kids, a lot of them haven't seen what the urban kids supposed to see by our age. For example, they never see train station. So I kinda sort of invented is danger room. It's actually classroom simulation. For example, my kids never experienced buying bus ticket.
Really? Wow.
I will change the entire class into bus station. So I take out what they required to learn from the textbook and create the classroom simulation where they need to use what they learn and practice it in the classroom. So the kids will experience inside the classroom how it feels like to be in the bus station. They will learn not only what language they're going to use and how to use the language while buying ticket and all. They will also learn how to interact with people and the ethics while buying a bus ticket.
Right, so it's a bit more social learning and it's real life experiences lah.
Yeah. Danger Room is actually based on a comic book.
Marvel? Because I can see you're a Marvel fan. Oh, wow.
I'm actually a fan. Danger Room is a name of a training hall for X-Men, okay? Because X-Men is the first ever comic book that brave enough to touch on the issue of discrimination. And obviously, if you're born different, you will get discriminated. Inside the Danger Room, they have the technology to make a simulation of the outside world.
Right. Okay, yeah.
So, the kids can learn what can they do outside without even leaving the training hall.
You're a Malaysian Professor X. You just have to shave your head bald. Wow, that sounds like a lot of work to prepare even that simulation. So because of this, you received an award, the 21st Century Learning Award. Like that sounds quite challenging to get because you're up against so many people, right?
Yeah, I mean all the competitors are have 10 years in the service. 15 years in the service, and during that time I was only have 2 years experience as a teacher. I don't even target to win this competition.
That's really good. Yeah, it's your heart that won, I think. You know, even your heart as just a teacher. Because of the lockdown, how are you adapting to change and still providing your students with an education?
Our Ministry of Education also promotes and suggested a lot of platform online and offline to conduct PDPC during this crisis. They prepare a lot of online learning platforms. They also even call teachers to shoot their lessons and kids can learn via TV Pendidikan, but none of that we can use for our kids in pedalaman. First, because we don't have internet connection. Secondly, because the parents here are mostly farmers, hunters in the jungle. They don't have any gadget like phone and laptop. So what we do is we came up with this homework distribution. We call it homework COD, but doesn't require any crash actually. The plan is the teachers who already went home, like my friend who in Semenanjung and Sabah and all, they will forward me all the notes, all the homework to me. And I will print it out here in Lawas. We will use the guy that bring the food supply to come into the village and do the homework distribution. Because in the kampung, they are also doing the lockdown. The lockdown in the village are pretty flexible actually. People can still go out, but no one is allowed to go in and out the village except the one who was selected to bring the food supply.
I see. Okay. Could you maybe give us a description of the conditions of these villages so that people have a better understanding of where the students are?
Okay, from Lawas to these villages, okay, it's required us like 3 to 4 hours using Jalan Balak. It's a very terrible road. If the weather is bad, the ride will be like 5 to 6 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Believe me, I once stay overnight on the road because our car was broken. Like I think the spring of the tire was broken or something.
Oh my
And then we
goodness.
didn't have any phone call to call anyone. So anyone will pass by us will help us. Like that. It's pretty normal already for us. Pedalaman teachers, we already adapt to these situations. And our kids are from 13 villages and 1 lodging camp. And each of these villages are very far away. So we have to take another hours of ride to go to each of these villages.
Wow.
And usually the process takes 2 days. Okay.
Oh my
The
goodness.
first day, we are distributing it to the tea houses in Long Sukang only. Okay, and then the next day we will go to the other village, but other village won't allow us to enter the village, so we can only meet the kids like 1 wakil, and we only able to meet them for a very short period of time. We don't have much time to like sit down and discuss with them. We will be strictly monitored by the head of the village to do all this distribution outside Kampung Sukang. Because to ensure we follow the guideline, because actually the head of the village and the community also hesitate when we want to do this homework distribution, because we might be the one who bring the risk of get people infected, right? Because we live outside. For example, the kids need to wash their hands before they receive our notes and homework. The materials that we use, the papers that already in the school stock for a very long time, so we try not to buy new paper and all like that.
Wow, that's a lot of work and a lot of effort that you have to go through. So you mentioned that even if you go to the villages or to the houses, you have very minimal contact with them. How do you still teach them even after giving them their homework? Because sometimes they don't understand.
Actually, that's the problem we still have to figure out. Whenever they have like a confusion or anything, they're unable to contact us immediately, you know? Because they don't have phone or anything. So they have to wait for us like once a week.
You.
The problem is like because we divide the subject into like this week, we are sending BM and Science. The following weeks, we will send Maths and English. Problem is when they have questions for maths, for example, they ask me and I'm not really good in maths, so like have to like wait. I need to ask the teacher first. Let me take photo of this question. I'll ask the teacher and how to do it. Next week I will come to you again. The teacher here need to be flexible on the submission date of the kids' works. And also, we have the problem on to schedule our trip to the village because we are using the transportation. That guy who was selected to bring up food supply. The transports are limited, very, very super limited. We have to be like alert anytime they're in the town. We need to make sure all the things are prepared and we just go to the village on that time. Sometimes the kids are not aware that is the day we supposed to give and collect all the work. So sometimes they are in the jungle with their parents hunting for like animal and all. Sometimes they're at the paddy fields. It will take like 2 days minimum.
Right. Cannot scold them also. You're right, also you cannot scold them, right?
Right.
Like Imara.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that the kids are not learning as effectively as they can. How does this affect your syllabus and how have you had to adapt the syllabus?
The syllabus, because for me, English, for example, in order to teach them how to write an essay, it's hard to do it when you can only contact them once a week. In order to write a single essay, you need to be with the kids. Imagine doing this with mathematics and science.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Currently, I conduct PBL, project-based learning. For example, I'm teaching sequencing, first, second, thirdly, next, lastly. What I do is I ask the kids to check what their parents prepare for dinner or lunch and learn with your parents how to prepare it and try to write it down and use the sequencer. Kids learn what required in the syllabus at the same time, use it, practice it immediately at their home. And also, will open the chances and opportunity for the kids to help their parents in the kitchen. The parents love it.
So you go through so much effort and it takes a lot of time to ensure that your students still get their homework. Why do you do it and why do you put yourself through all that effort?
We cannot just abandon our kids. It's bad enough that there's a huge gap between us and our urban counterparts. We miss a lot of learning opportunities without all these new technologies. Discrimination among these orang asli and pedalaman kids are real, and we don't want our kids to be demotivated because of that. Is it their fault to born and raised in that kind of situation? No, right? But it is your fault if you are a teacher and you didn't do your part. If you ask me why am I doing this, me and my colleagues, we want to show other demotivated teachers that we still can do something for our kids. You will only fail if you stop trying. It's okay not to be the best as long as we give our best for our kids.
You have such a great dedication to your students, and that's absolutely amazing. How do you yourself keep motivated and not get to that place?
I think it's the kids. I think it's the kids like my number one inspiration. When I was in my teacher training, when I enter my practicum phase, it's really like changed my perspective on being a teacher. I think I was into two things. Into kids, and I was into creating stuff. I able to do this. I able to create. I have the passion to do all this, and then I can stay up all night to change the class into something, fish market, pet shop and all. The next day, my kids come to the class, they will see new things at the class. You might be a prime minister one day, or someone very important that changed the world, that lead the generations, and your primary school teacher will sit in the class waiting for the next kids to come to the class. Nothing to lose. We just give it all.
You received it and it's quite a prestigious award, and because of that, you could easily apply to any urban schools. Why do you still stay where you are?
Okay, to be honest, this is my third year in the service. 3 years is like so short, and I wish to stay here longer because I want to see hasil tuayan.
Yeah. Thank you so much for allowing us to clock in with you. It's been such an eye-opening experience, and I really commend you teachers for doing your part. You guys are like the real heroes, the unsung heroes, and we need more teachers like you. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for all that you're doing.
Thank you for this opportunity, because pedalaman school is always overshadowed by the greatness of other area. I hope with this sharing session, many people will notice us here, small school in Hutan. We do want to compete at the global stage with other kids from all around Malaysia. Thank you again for this opportunity.
Honestly, okay, for me personally, I have met Orang Asli kids before and Pedalaman kids before, and I've actually worked with a couple of them, and they are such bright children. They just don't have the right opportunities or the right platforms to just show how bright they are. And I can't. And teachers like Nazmi are just so amazing for giving their life and sacrificing so much to the kids so that they have a fighting chance for a future. So I really hope that they get the support that they really need for the children and for their future as well. So thank you so much to all these teachers that give so much, even the urban teachers. Thank you for all the effort that you guys put in. Oh my god! And also to my primary school teachers, I remember you guys. So guys, if you see your teachers, just give them a hug. Or maybe not now, social distancing, right? That's all for today. If you like what you see so far, be sure that you're following us on all our social media platforms. This is Michelle, clocking out remotely. Bye!